Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Well, hello and welcome to Chris's Hidden Metal Show. This is part 3 in a series of me putting out commentary tracks to my own band. About 10 years ago, I had my own heavy metal, hidden metal show on the Livin' Lame Podbean network. I never had it on my feed, on my podcast feed. They wanted to have a diverse programming over there on Livin' Lame, and I said, let me do a hidden metal show, a show about songs that I think should get the spotlight. So here we are 10 years later. Chris's Hidden Metal Show is back, only for a limited time, and I am very... Is this narcissistic of me to be talking about my own band, my own music? Maybe it is. I don't know. I need to get this shit documented in case I fucking die, and you guys need to... I guess nobody's really going to care. But if you're listening to this after I die, this is just sort of me documenting the albums, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe if I become famous one day, people like, oh, this is how he was beforehand or something. I don't know. We are starting off with the third album, and this, now we're actually taking the first real shift in the evolution of the band, where I am no longer working with DJ. And not that there was no problems, no issues, no nothing. I think DJ kind of, well, actually, he hurt his hand. I had told him about the other albums right around the time literally like a week after I told him about the albums, he had reached out to me and said that he hurt his hand. And obviously, being a person who plays guitar, saying they hurt their hand, it's got to be pretty traumatic. Now, since then, I've seen him put other stuff up. I've seen him play guitar since then, but it was a long gap in between the time he told me that he hurt his hand and him putting up new stuff. So no issues there. I love DJ. I always thought he was a incredibly talented guitarist, and I would love to work with him again in the future if he ever wants to do any kind of real kind of push for a band. But this time with the third album, once again, like the first album, I released on my birthday in 2023, and I had decided to go with, and nothing against DJ, but I decided to go with a guy who is a professional. I came across his YouTube page, and when I say YouTube, the guy has like several YouTube pages because he is an incredibly talented musician, and he does all different styles of music. And his name is Gus Wallner, and he is from Brazil. What he does is he puts music up online, and it's sort of like, if you want to use any of my tracks, you have to subscribe to my Patreon. And, with that, he'll whitelist you, because, YouTube, if you upload something that sounds like somebody else's song, they can pull it down to copyright. So what he does is you kind of let him know you're going to use it, and then you can use it, basically. But you have to subscribe to his Patreon. And don't get me wrong, he is an incredibly talented artist. And if I had the disposable income to hire him full on to write songs, I would. I mean, even though this is very much a vanity project, I wish I had $5,000 laying around where I could just throw it at him and say, hey, let's make an album. Because the songs go, I think, it's a going rate anywhere from like $250 to $500 a song that he writes. I'm assuming an album's about 10 songs. So, if I had $2,500 to $5,000 just burning a hole in my pocket, I would certainly put out a like legit album where, you could put it up on Spotify and DistroKid and all these other places. Anything that I do inspires you, and you want to do anything like that where he'll license you the song for a month of subscription to his Patreon, you could do that. His company is called You Think Music, or you could just look up Gus Wallner on YouTube, or I believe even has like guswallner.com or something like that. But you could just Google him, and you will easily see his stuff online. And so, of course, I'm going to take advantage of a professional, and not, once again, no slight on DJ, but this is what Gus does. This is what makes his bread and butter. The stuff I collaborated with DJ, it sort of was just, guys farting around on an app. This is Gus's business. So I took it seriously, with the first album being Constructed Destruction, and then the second album called Destructive Construction. I decided to stay with the theme of the album names and called it Reconstruction. Now, with that, I had wanted the album to be, and this is what I was going for, positively nihilistic, I guess would be the best way to put it, where, you know what, we're all going to die. We're all on this planet for a little while. Try to make the best of it. Try to follow your dreams. Try to do that. That's sort of the theme through most of the songs. In my mind, the album does tell a bit of a story about a guy who kind of like realizes that we're all going to die anyway. Might as well follow your dreams, which is somewhat autobiographical. So with this first track, it is called not tracked. No one's handing you a little religious piece of paper. This first track off of Reconstruction. It's about a guy learning, breaking down his life and starting it back up again. It's called Wounded Animal. And once again, like every other song not every other song, but there's some sort of basis in reality. Wounded Animal comes from, I had got back in contact with an old elementary school friend online. And we had a mini school reunion where I met up with her and two other people, and it was really nice. And we'd gotten back and forth and become friends on social media. And she's very positive and stuff like that for the most part. And, she was trying to give me life advice, even though I wasn't really asking for life advice. But she said, I see what you post online. And when you post, you sound like a wounded animal. You complain like a wounded animal. And, when an animal gets wounded, it sounds, it sounds like that. But then again, when you think about it, when I think about my life, I feel like a wounded animal. I am hurt. Hurt people hurt people. Nobody wakes up one day and says, I'm going to be a misanthropic, nihilistic person, bitter, salty, angry at the world. You don't wake up one day like that. You get hurt a bunch of times and you're wounded and you cry. So that's what this first song is. It's called Wounded Animal. But this is sort of like the main character sort of breaking down. Another theme of this album is, I call this also my new metal album. A couple of the songs, on top of being metal, and all of these songs are metal songs, they are also more in the subgenre of new metal. I think Korn, Limp Bizkit, things of that nature. Which has always been my music. Like when you say heavy metal, some people automatically, the normies automatically go to 80s hair metal, or, and then, some people think, like the 90s grunge. And I'm more, in 99, I was 22 years old. So that's when I had the world by the balls. And, at 22, that was the music that was riding high, Disturbed and System of a Down and stuff like that. So all of these songs, also for whatever reason, I decided to add some sort of soundbite or intro and outro with something from a movie or a TV show. This first one has just a wolf's howl, but it sounds like an animal that's being hurt. But when you watch the actual video that I used, it's basically just a wolf laying in the snow and it howls, and then you hear the other wolves howl in the distance, and it gives you goosebumps. So let's get right into it. This is the first track off the Industrious Bastards' third album, Reconstruction. This is Wounded Animal.
Feeling neglected, isolated. all down. Stuck in a trap and you ride and you snap, crying how? Like a wounded animal. Stand in the back, the corner will attack and you act like a wounded animal. You've been here before, you survive on your wits, you're a force to be reckoned with. Don't you allow them to bring back the pain, stop them now before they do it again. I made a mistake, this one's all on me. No one to blame but myself. Take full responsibility. I'll own up to it. In the years I've caused, I'm the one who's wrong here. Everything is my fault. Time to burn it all down. Stuck in a trap and you ride and you snap, crying how? Like a wounded animal. Stand in the back, the corner will attack and you act like a wounded animal. You've been here before, you survive on your wits, you're a force to be reckoned with. Don't you allow them to bring back the pain, stop them now before they do it again.
And that was Wounded Animal by Industrious Bastards. Rewatching that video, it's sort of I'm very proud of the way it came out. How it sort of just looks like my head's in a void, singing with all the glitchy effects going through, along with the wolf at the end that I kind of put in the background, sort of like a transparency over the rest of the video. And then in the video, I'm wearing these round glasses. I guess the closest thing you would call them is Dwayne Wayne glasses. If you remember the show A Different World, the Cosby Show spinoff. Those were glasses that I got from my dad. Making these albums is sort of a reaction from my father passing. I'll just be honest about it. Knowing with my father passing, it's sort of like, did he follow his dreams? Did he, I'm facing my own mortality when it comes to going through my own midlife crisis. When my dad bought a motorcycle and became, in his mind, like a biker. And this is me sort of doing my own little rebellious midlife crisis kind of thing. So I had these glasses from him with the round lenses, very John Lennon-esque. I wore them in the video. I for some reason just, felt appropriate or whatever, and being hurt and stuff like that. So that's, if you've ever watched the video and you're wondering why is he wearing those unusual glasses, those are my dad's. The part about everything is my fault, it certainly feels that way. Like, because the character in the song, he is a person that is hurt. He is me. He is someone. Am I being bitter and mean because I'm just a bitter, mean person? Or am I being bitter and mean because I keep getting fucked over from everybody? Everybody, and I don't want this to be a therapy session, but you keep getting hurt. Everyone you loved, everyone you cared for has turned you away, has rejected you, has done something bad to you. It makes you into a wounded animal. It makes you into a hurt person. Hurt people hurt people. That whole part of the song where it's like, everything's my mistake. Everything, I made the mistake. Everything's my fault. It's sort of, it's sort of denying the fact that he was or I was made this way. Like the line from the movie Suicide Squad, where he says, he looked like a monster, so they treated him like a monster, and he became a monster. So, I'm getting all deep and depressing here. So let's move on to the next song. This is Make History. It's sort of, there's a bunch of time puns in the song, or time uses of time type lyrics, and it's about the ticking time, the time that's slipping away before you enter the grave. It's sort of like make the most of what you have left in your life. And now the next song after that, these two kind of go together, where it's sort of we'll get more into the seize of the day in the next song, but this is sort of like time is leaving. This is it. There's no going back. So make the most of what you have and do something so incredible that it makes history, which is sort of a theme later on in this album about legacy. I guess, once again, thinking about mortality and my father's death and what's your legacy. Time is slipping. Make something, make an impact that will outlast you. So this is Industrious Bastards with Make History.
Unfulfilled. Wasting life and losing track. Another day killed. And this is time you won't get back. Suss out the cards you were dealt. Stop saying, pity me. Touch it, smell it, feel it, taste it. Nada, million, waste it. Touch it, smell it, feel it, taste it. Nada, million, waste it. Touch it, smell it, feel it, taste it. Nada, million, waste it. Touch it, smell it.
day for him, Chaos' life. His breakfast will taste better than any meal you and I have ever tasted.
And that was Make History by Industrious Bastards. When you watch the video, you get to see Gus's setup in his studio. And it's funny to see how simple it is. You know, he has his monitoring speakers, his laptop, his guitar, his keyboard. Yet he puts out incredible music. It shows that you don't need a big giant setup and everything like that to make incredible music. And once again, it makes me really glad to collaborate with him. What was I going to say? I really like the echoes that you hear in the song, how it kind of comes off like it's all off kilter. All right, so let's move on to the next song. This is almost like a part two. And keeping the theme of seize the day, you only live once, YOLO, FOMO, Carpe Diem, whatever you want to call it. The next song is called Spotlight, and it comes from the place of being a rock star. In this scenario, I'm the rock star, and I'm trying to get other people to say, hey, if you're not happy with your life, get out there and follow your dreams. Do the thing that's going to make you happy. Do the thing, be the rock star. Of course, that's a little, manifest. I'm trying to manifest it. I'm not a rock star yet, but I'm trying to be. And in being a rock star, he's being supportive. So he's saying, you know, you only live once, get out of the dark, come out into the spotlight, be a rock star. And Gus, when we were going back and forth with the album, Gus said that this is his favorite song out of all the songs we did together. And I think he likes the fact that in the video, I made a caricature of him. You know, I mean, obviously it's a very simple looking character, but it does kind of look like him. So I think he really liked that. So this is Industrious Bastards Spotlight.
Just do it! Go! Go! Let's rock. Watching is overrated. Get loud. It's not that complicated. Why sit in the midst of the
And that was Spotlight by Industrious Bastards. Now, I forgot to mention this in the last song with clip from Fight Club with Tyler Durden. And almost with the beginning of this video with the Shia LaBeouf green screen screaming, "Just do it!" It certainly fits those songs. And with the Tyler Durden scene, that's the scene from Fight Club where he puts the gun to the guy's head, pulls out his wallet and says, you know, "What did you want to be?" And the guy says, "I want to be a veterinarian." You know, "What did you want to do with your life instead of working at a convenience store?" Because the guy's working in a convenience store. And he goes, "I want to be a veterinarian." And he goes, "I'm going to come back in a year. And if you're not on your way to being a veterinarian, I'm going to kill you." And he's sort of forcing this guy under the threat of death, which of course is very illegal, but he's sort of forcing this guy to go follow his dreams. There's a certain purity that I like behind that now you're kind of doing it under the threat of death, but you're going to pursue your dreams, which is certainly fitting for these two songs, because you are going to die, so you might as well try to pursue your dreams in that. And then just with the Shia LaBeouf screaming, "Just do it." I don't know. I of course, I'm separating the art from the artist. I know Shia LaBeouf is a little loopy in the head, but that "Just do it" is very motivational. I love that I was able to put it in a song. When you see the video for Spotlight, it does get pretty chaotic. Once again, using the program Nightmare Puppeteer. When I made that video, it just had a new update, and the guy who made the program, Imagination Rabbit or M. Strange or whatever you want to call him, the 50 names that he has, he did, and that was right around the time Kanye West was going through his breakdown and saying anti-Semitic things and everything like that. So in the game, there's a part where in the program that you use, there's an option to add what they call randoms, where you see all the crazy people in the background of the video just walking around. They're called the randoms. So he made Kanye West a random. And so in the video, there's Kanye West running around with a glowing cross, and it's pretty wild. And I wasn't planning it. And had I known then what I know now, I probably wouldn't have put Kanye West and let him be in the video. But it does come off just odd and weird. And what the hell's Kanye West doing in the video? I certainly don't support anything he says. I'm not a big fan of his music. I've actually disliked his music for years. That's been documented on Facebook. But that being said, I just thought it was funny. With all the other chaos in the video, like the video gets so crazy with stuff on screen and graphics and fire and characters in the background that my video card was slowing down. But the funny thing is with the video, it kind of comes off as just a cool video, slow down motion effects. So that wasn't done on purpose. It was actually slowing down because of all the crazy shit on screen. But I think it helps the chaoticness of the video. And, you know, saying be a rock star, come be a rock star just like me. And a rock star life is a crazy rock star life. You know, you're being hunted down. And speaking of being hunted down, let's move on to the next song, Ready to Die, which is both the character saying, get ready to die, but he is also telling the people who have held him back, you should get ready to die. And of course, this is all metaphorical. I'm not talking about actually harming people, but it's saying, you know, you stood in my way. You've been an obstacle in my way. I'm going, metaphorically, I'm going to kill you. Get ready to die. Get out of my way. But facing his own mortality, I need to get ready to die. You know, with the whole, like, you know, getting your shit in order, following your dreams and stuff like that, you should be ready to die at any moment. So it's kind of, it goes both ways with the Ready to Die. The video itself is obviously... the look is from the John Wick movies, which is very funny because of the 4 movies, I've seen part 3 in theaters, which I loved. And I don't think people like that one in particular. And I started watching the first one night before going to bed, and it was past my bedtime, and I fell asleep watching it. Not saying it's a bad movie that made me fall asleep. I just never got back to watching it. I'm not a big fan. Not that I haven't watched the movies yet to be a fan of the John Wick movies. The same way I never saw Inglourious Bastards and called my band Industrious Bastards. I think with the video with assassins and chasing each other, and had it go my way, I would have liked to have the assassins going through a maze, but that's kind of hard to get AI art to make. And at that one, I forgot what that one was. I forgot the name of the program that I used to make that, but getting ready to die and having a bunch of assassins, and that's kind of stylized John Wick, kind of the Matrix thing going on. The video came out really cool, and the fact that it kind of warps into different things from pictures, and I threw the filter on it to make it look like an old film. I really like the way it came out. So this is Industrious Bastard. Oh, and I forgot. I should have mentioned that. In the very beginning, I have a clip from the 1975, 77 movie, Heavy Metal, the animated one based on the comic. I've always liked that scene, where the character says, death to all who oppose us, which is sort of what we're going with this here. People that are standing in your way, they're opposing you. And once again, metaphorically, don't sue me, don't kill people, but it's saying, get those people out of your way, kill the people in your way, metaphorically. And so that's where that clip for this particular song comes from. So that's it. And this is Industrious Bastards with Ready to Die.
Death! Death! Death to all who oppose us!
Ready to Die by Industrious Bastards. Listening to that, I think thematically, or at least the way the song sounds or the way it comes from, in my head, I was thinking of the band Stabbing Westward and their song Save Yourself, where, yeah, the song gets a little repetitive. And I understand that. But some good songs, some great songs are repetitive. And it sort of just has the vibe and screaming, better get ready to die. You know, the funny thing is that when I put this song together, because, you know, Gus just has his library and you choose whatever you want from it. He said he was surprised that someone was able to make a song with that track. You know, that's not one he would automatically assume someone could make something with. And, you know, when I write these songs, it's sort of, I hear them and it's what's going on in my head. And I get ready to die. You know, just, it sounds in my head, it fits perfectly. I really like the way it came out. Once again, it has a very late 90s, early 2000s style over substance vibe going with it, both in the video and with the song. Like I said, it's probably one of the more simple songs that I've ever wrote, but it has that vibe and it gets me hyped up. I mean, you know, that's something I could see people listening to like while working out or jogging or something like that, just to get themselves hyped up. Because it's a song to get, it's a hype song. Take away my lyrics. I mean, Gus Wallner is a fucking genius. It's a great track, and just in general. And then I looked it up while I was watching the video. The program I had used was called Kaiber, K-A-I-B-E-R. Get it? AI. All right, so let's move on to the next song. Now, this video for this song, I am particularly very proud of. I made this video all by myself from start to finish. And once again, okay, yes, I'm using AI, but this was not a program online. I have downloaded a program I use it's called Stable Diffusion. You know, this song has a lot of varying lyrics, and I wanted to make a video that used AI, because there's a lot of people who use AI for their video, and it's sort of some generic shit. You know, you put heavy metal video and it'll have skulls and eyeballs and all types of stuff like that. But I wanted the actual lyrics reflected in the song. And when you're using a program like Stable Diffusion, you know, you can bring, I had to time out the song, figure out what frame the lyric would be on, and then type that in code. You have to almost code a little bit when you want to get this deep into using AI to make a video. I was literally writing lines of code. I mean, it was in a bit of a palatable program, but I was technically writing lines of code for the art to get where I wanted it to be. And even then, it's a crapshoot, because this particular video, what you're seeing is probably the 5th or 6th attempt for me to make a video with that style. And of course, this is totally on me. I'm not submitting this to a studio. This isn't something that people, and sadly enough, the video count is so low, and I put a lot of heart into it, and I try to share it online on AI art communities. And for some reason, people are very, if it's not them promoting themselves, they don't really care. You know, I complimented millions of other people who've put up very great videos. Millions, okay, I'm being a little facetious here, but I mean, I've always been supportive of people who put up art and stuff like that, especially if it's something creative and it's not the typical bullshit. And I think this is incredibly innovative. I haven't seen anybody do anything like this. Unfortunately, the view count is very low, and then when I do get feedback, it's not that great. But the song is called Most Metal Ever. You know, I had always said for years that the three to four things that heavy metal music is anti-government, anti-religion, and then for me, number 3 was always fuck your ex-girlfriend. It's always anti-ex, or I say ex-girlfriend, ex in general. I mean, both guys and girls, everybody, you know, when you're hurt by your ex and you want to say fuck that person. And then this one is also anti-stupidity, anti-ignorance, you know, pro-intellectual. Because I mean, yes, there are meatheads who like heavy metal music and they like it because it kind of gets them pumped up. But for the most part, heavy metal in my opinion, heavy metal is a very intellectual genre of music. And I'm being very elitist when I say that. But, so it's anti-ignorance. So it's anti-religion, anti-government, anti-ignorance, and fuck your ex-girlfriend. So I wanted to put all of those in a song. I kind of put an underlying level of sound effects with the lyrics also that I put together just when I made the song, just in general. So, you have the great visuals from the video, which I'm very proud of. And to make a long, a 3 to 4 minute consistent video where each individual frame is being rendered out. And it literally took my computer the entire weekend. I literally started it on Friday night and it didn't finish rendering until Monday morning. And I work from home and I use my home computer. And to try to work with that rendering like the last 30 seconds online, was a bit of I was kind of worried. I'm like, please. And, you can take the extra steps and get back to it, but I wanted it to be one continuous flow of video, and it took my computer 2 days to render, and I'm very, very proud of it. I'll probably never do anything like that again unless I'm motivated through money or something like that, but I'm very proud of the song, and I'm super, super proud of the video. So this is Industrious Bastards with Most Metal Ever. Oh, well, before we get to the song, obviously Most Metal Ever comes from that clip that just came out a couple months earlier with Stranger Things season 4 with the Eddie Munson character where he plays Master of Puppets, which was a blessing for me because my daughter loved Stranger Things before that season came out. And I always loved Metallica. And so that Eddie Munson character and him playing Master of Puppets introduced Metallica to a whole new generation of kids. Where I was able to take my daughter wanted to go to see Metallica, which I took her to go see Metallica. And of course, she's waiting for them to play Master of Puppets. And I'm trying to tell her, honey, they're not going to play this song until the very, very end of the concert. You're not going to hear this song for at least another 2 hours. So when they were playing all the songs she didn't want to hear, she basically sat down where everyone else in our section were standing. In that particular episode, they're playing Metallica. Oh my goodness, what the hell is his name? Dustin tells Eddie Munson, most metal ever. And I just thought, I want to write a song that's the most heavy metal song ever. So those two just go hand in hand. So this is Industrious Bastards with Most Metal Ever.
Dude, most metal ever!
Life and death, strength and weakness, freedom and oppression, loss and success, triumph and defeat, fate and free will, joy and suffering,
And that was Most Metal Ever by Industrious Bastards. I think I said everything I needed to say for that video before then. I'm just super duper proud of it. Now on to the next video, Mall Goth. Now this is one of those things where it comes down to the micro, we live in a world now where things are on social media, and the things that one person likes doesn't necessarily bleed over to things that other people like. If you like what you like, the algorithm will keep feeding you what you like. And so this is a subgenre of the internet where it might have to be explained to people. Well, there's this thing called the mall goth culture, where technically it started back in the late 90s, early 2000s, where you would see these kids dressing up like goths, but they weren't into goth music. They weren't there to be fans of The Cure or The Smiths or Morrissey or whatever the case may be. They were sort of a weird offshoot of nu metal, and with this being a nu metal album. And in 2023, it was sort of there was a nu metal resurgence, and they put out there was a concert out in Vegas called Sick New World. I think there's going to be another one later on this year, Sick New World, but I think they blew their load with all the big nu metal acts, and now they're being a little more diverse. So 2023, there was poised to be a nu metal resurgence. And we think about it, it's been about 20 years since, maybe a little more than 20 years since nu metal ran the world. Before, when Korn was king, and Limp Bizkit and Deftones and all of those bands, and Disturbed and System of a Down, people that were kids back then are in their mid to late 20s now. They're kids, because once again, I've said before, I do not like the current batch of what the metal industry is today. So nu metal kind of made a resurgence where there's people who grew up where they were very young when nu metal first came out. If they're 27 now, they were young in the late 90s, early 2000s. Maybe their older brothers or they were kids when nu metal was on TV, and kind of went through the cycles, and they went through all the bands, like the garage bands, the Strokes and all that. Then there was emo and screamo, and then metalcore and post-metalcore and all the things. So as cycles go by, nu metal made a resurgence, and it's sort of come back. I don't like with the resurgence because it's almost become a parody of itself, where there are places that are having nu metal nights where you can listen to the DJ, the person playing the music, or they are catering to fans of nu metal. Since it's almost aimed, I want to say kids, because as 45, 46 years old, I mean, someone in their mid to late 20s is a kid, but they're coming in and they want to wear a red baseball cap backwards as almost like a costume. And I can almost feel the same way, because when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, we idolized the 60s, and kids would wear, peace medallions and try to get yourself bell-bottom jeans and stuff like that. So I get how it's going, and I could imagine someone from the 60s looking at us in the 90s saying, oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So now, me being the old man, get off my lawn. I don't like how nu metal's been, people almost wear it like a costume, like, oh, I'm going to wear an Adidas tracksuit. But that being said, there seemed to be a uptick in the trend of TikTok. And I'm not really a TikTok person, but, I was following a bunch of mall goth girls, these basic thirst traps. Let's be honest, you want attention. Don't act like that's not your agenda. You're a thirst trap on TikTok, and you post many pictures of yourself, and your angle is that you're the mall goth girl. And there are several like that. And so I said, I like looking at these girls. And of course, look, I'm a creepy old dude, and I'm a 46-year-old man looking at women in their late 20s, dressing up back to a time when I was in my mid to late 20s, when the music that's when it was my generation's music. I decided to make a song called Mall Goth, based on, you know, and I named all the stereotypical things that mall goths have, you know, the eyeliner and the lip piercings and the multicolored hair and stuff like that. And of course, that's high maintenance. As you get older, you realize, oh, I can't fucking deal with that kind of shit. And of course, you know, just people on social media in general is sort of a high maintenance, you know, kind of like the song Stalker I did on the first album. To be an Instagram influencer, to be a TikTok influencer, you have to put out pictures and videos of yourself every single day. So imagine the pressure of doing that along with all the accessories of being, you know, a mall goth with, you know, makeup and jewelry and outfits and putting out several videos and pictures a day. This is sort of a tribute to that. With this being the new metal album, there's also, you know, it's my ode to the mall goths. Towards the end of the song, there is a rap. You know, in the tradition of new metal, you know, you have the song that's like metal. Then there's a rap. For those who don't catch every reference, in the rap, it's all song names and album names from the band Korn. You know, the quintessential granddaddy of nu metal. Maybe not the first band to do nu metal, but you know, the most influential, the one who kind of started the real wave of nu metal, Korn. So in the rap part of the song, the cringy, corny rap part of the song, it's a bunch of references to Korn songs and albums. So this is Industrious Bastards with Mall Goth.
Do it, damn it. Somebody get me a mall gun. I need to get me a mall gun. Trying to get me a mall gun. I need to get me a mall gun. Right now. It's all too much behind a chain of barbed wire. Look what you can touch. This fly trap, I'm in her clutch. Just remember, look what you can touch. Amolga, 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 Amolga.
Live people ignore the strange and unusual. I myself am strange and unusual.
And that was Molgoth by Industrious Bastards. Now, rewatching the video, of course, you're going to say, what's up with all the missing footage or generic Molgoth footage here? Long story short, I was trying to get someone who was a popular TikToker, Instagrammer, to use her footage when I first started making the song. Because, you don't make a song overnight. You don't make a video overnight. And so I was going to use some of her footage and then basically her. And now when I started this whole thing, she wasn't, her and her boyfriend weren't Facebook official, your social media official. And he did not like her stuff being used in the video, so he reached out to me and put the kibosh on that. So it is what it is. I wasn't going to re-edit the video. It is kind of funny seeing, I asked my daughter to record me. I was actually standing in front of a mall. And once again, it's a little cringy, but I think that's part of the song. It's about a guy being cringy and creepy. Once again, this is all based on reality. Okay, so now we are going to, the first two albums had bonus tracks. There are no bonus tracks. This is the officially last song on this album, Reconstruction. And I think it's apt that the last song on the album is about, it's not about the end of the earth, but in the video, it's about, in the video, there is a meteor hurling towards Earth. It's a lyric video, so the lyrics are flying through space, very indicative of Richard Donner's Superman. I wasn't going for that intentionally, but it ended up going like, if you see the opening credits, this Richard Donner's Superman, where the words are kind of like flying by the screen. And so in this video, the camera is flying through the universe as the words of the song fly through the universe. And it's revealed that a meteor is hurtling towards Earth. So, we face our mortality every day, and whether it be we die by our own bad decisions, if we die by a heart attack, or if you die by, a violent act where someone decides to kill you because they're trying to rob you, or some car runs a red light and T-bones you and takes you out, or natural disaster. The universe, no matter what you want. And this is very much an existential, I use the words existential crisis, and that's exactly what's going on in this song. It's about my existential crisis, because I am an atheist and I don't believe in an afterlife. And I believe once you die, that's it, lights out. It's like, you go back to wherever you were before you were born. Ask yourself, where were you before you were born? Just emptiness, darkness, blackness, nothingness. You're here. And then when you die, you return back to the emptiness and blackness and darkness. So you turn off like a light bulb. We're all going to die. The universe is eventually going to collapse in on itself. I know this is all happy stuff. It's a beautiful it's positive nihilism. Once again, it's sort of do what you have to do. Step on toes. Get things what you have to get. Stop trying to be polite. Do things that you may, ask. It's better to ask for forgiveness than beg for permission. In this in this scenario, it's sort of saying like, a asteroid is coming towards Earth in the next 50 years. You could take that as an allegory for climate change. We may destroy our environment to where humans can't exist anymore. There's that, we're ruining our planet also. We have our own mortality, and we're sort of, we're the ones putting our head in the guillotine, for that being said. I don't think I'm going to have any commentary after this track. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for listening to episode 3 of Chris's, well, should I say the new season, the new limited series of Chris's Hidden Metal Show. This is the last track on the Reconstruction album, the 3rd album, and this is Going Away.
Proceed your way to oblivion.
up a fight. Everything's gonna be alright.